lost in a task and did not take note of what happened around you, the changes that happened in your environment. What was the phenomenon behind that? And why is it important to talk about this? In this video, I'm going to take you through 4 things. Number 1, why is it that we pay attention yet we miss out on noticing certain things which are very obvious in our environment? Number 2, the scientific experiments, the evidence-based experiments from psychology which prove this concept. Number 3, examples from real life which help you understand how this concept of selective attention and inattentional blindness play out in your life. Number 4, why it is important to understand this phenomenon, how this can be detrimental to your life, to the way it shapes your belief, and how to benefit from this phenomenon, from the awareness of this phenomenon. Stay tuned till the end because this will help you shape and enhance your life. Hi, my name is Vidya Krishna Swamy. I am an emotional well-being and a resourcefulness coach. I help adults live an emotionally healthy life and a life of their aspirations. First of all, I'll take you through a movie experience. You're watching a movie in a theater. Now, this is a love story where there is a young hero and a young heroine. They are so much into each other. Your heart goes out for the love they have for each other. This couple have to face a lot of hurdles. They take their family into confidence, but there is a villain in their story. This is an old villain who has grudge, who has carried grudge, and now he does not want the hero to be happy. So he will do whatever is in his might to cause problems in hero's life. Yet the hero puts on a tough fight and knocks off this villain, and now the villain is knocked off from his life. There comes a time when hero and heroine are in the heart of the city. They are so full of emotions. They are overwhelmed with their emotions. They see each other, and now that all problems are solved, they want to unite and run towards each other, and all looks rosy, and it seems like this is the climax of the movie. As the hero and heroine are running in slow motion towards each other, from nowhere, unexpectedly, a guy in 20s comes and suddenly attacks the hero, and hero does not know what's happening, but someone is attacking him and he gets in the defense mode. He starts fighting this young guy. Both of them fight each other. They reach the top of a mountain, and it's a very dangerous place, and in the process of fighting, one of them could fall off the mountain and lose his life. It turns out that this young guy, the villain, is the adopted son of the villain, and he wants to avenge the death of his godfather. The hero explains that he did not do any harm to godfather. He is not at fault, and the young guy understands. He comes forward to unite the hero and the heroine. In the climax scene, the hero and heroine run in slow motion and they unite. All is well, and there ends the story. You come back happy from the theater because it's a total paisa vasool story. Now, did you observe the blooper in the story? When you hope that hero and heroine will unite, they run towards each other in the heart of the city, young guy comes all of a sudden, unexpectedly, and he attacks the hero. And immediately in the next scene, they move to the top of a mountain. How is this possible? They are in the heart of the city, and when this young guy attacks the hero, did they have the time to move to the top of a mountain from the middle of that road? And why did they not fight each other there itself? This did not occur to us, isn't it? We didn't take note of this because we were so focused on the story. All this occurred in front of us, and we failed to take note of the sequence and how illogical all this looked. We were happy for the sequence of events, and this is because of a concept called as selective attention and inattentional blindness. And this is what we're going to talk about. There was an experiment called gorilla experiment which psychologists conducted. What happened in this experiment is there were two teams which played a game where they had to pass the ball to each other. There were two teams and they had to pass the ball. The audience had to count the number of passes each team had. The audience counted the number of passes. But what happened as the players were passing the balls was a person in the attire of a gorilla came in the scene, and he made some gestures and also moved away from the scene. But the audience did not notice this, though this happened right in front of their eyes. And this was proven by a series of experiments later. The psychologists went on to prove through a series of experiments that when we are very focused on a task, when we are so consumed by a task, we pay our attention to the task that we are engaged in, and we ignore whatever else happens in the environment, though it is very obvious, though it happens right in front of our eyes. This is because our focus is limited. It's a limited resource. And when the focus reaches its maximum point, because it is a limited resource, we don't have the bandwidth to pay attention to anything that we are not focused on, that is not important to us. In the case of the story was how the hero and heroine would unite and how they would get past the hurdles. So it did not matter to us whether they fought the villain in the heart of the city or they moved to the mountain top. Why is the concept of selective attention and inattentional blindness important? Let's say I believe that the world is filled with people who cheat, who are not trustworthy. We should be very careful. Let's say this is my belief. When I observe my environment, I'm going to find more examples, more people who have cheated others. It could be on TV, it could be amongst the people that I know. I'm going to find more instances of people who have cheated others, who have not been prompt, who have not displayed integrity. While there could be many people who are prompt, who are honest, who have integrity, but because of this phenomenon of selective attention and inattentional blindness, I'm going to ignore all those instances and be focused on instances or examples which reinforce my belief. And that is why awareness is important. Awareness of what is helping us and what beliefs are not helping us is important. Anyway, we'll take that up next. But let me give you another example. Let's say a man is looking for a match, looking for a bride, and he believes that the females working in BPO, all of them smoke, all of them drink. What will happen when he gets proposals from women who work in BPO? He is going to find examples of women who actually smoke, while there could be a majority of women working in BPO and don't smoke. But his eyes will look for women who are standing in the smoking zone. And this explains the choices we make, the behavior we take to, because our attention is focused on what we are looking for. And that means we ignore all other things that are there in the environment which don't align with what we are focusing on, even if they exist in the environment. Let's take the example of a work environment. If an employee believes that his reporting authority is not appreciative of his work, he is going to pick on those instances where his manager has not recognized his contribution and ignore those instances where the manager has indeed recognized and applauded him for his contribution. Talking about the other side, let's say there is a manager who thinks that his team member is lazy, he is not interested in learning. He is going to look for those examples where his team member is not giving his best, where his team member has been lagging, where he is not learned from the trainings imparted. And this is how the selective attention and inattentional blindness can influence and reinforce our beliefs, and it can affect our relationship with people. It can impact our performance, our job selection, our careers, the partners we choose, and our relationship with them. So what can we do about it? Become aware. When we become aware that it is possible that we ignore the facts about our environment because of what we are focused on, we can be aware of this. And when we find that a certain belief that we have is not helpful, is pulling us back, it is impacting our relationship, then we can be aware that it is possible we have ignored. And so we can take a step back. We can deliberately notice whether there are evidences, whether there are any instances which are contrary to our belief. And when we focus our attention to observe any instances that prove our belief to be untrue, we can make an informed choice. We can revise our beliefs. We can loosen up our belief and start taking note of all the instances which will help us to have a balanced perspective. I'm not saying that we let go of the things that we have noticed in the first instance and we only pay weightage to the second part where the person has proved to be good. I'm not saying that. But when we deliberately observe this and that, both these examples, it will help us to make informed choice. It will help us to form a balanced opinion. So what is the rule that we can follow? Should we start paying attention to everything that is happening in our environment? No, that does not help. It is not economical. Why do we have this selective attention? We actually cannot take note of everything that happens in our environment. We have to be economical in what we pay attention to. So, if there are beliefs which are uplifting, we don't have to ignore what we already know and start noticing anything that is contradicting our beliefs, because they are already helping us. They are already helping our relationship with the other person. They are already helping kind of choices we make in our job and career. They are already helping the relationship we have with our family members and with our acquaintances, with our friends. But when a belief is coming in the way of our functioning, when a belief is impacting our relationship with our family members, with our bosses, or with our subordinates, with our colleagues, if it's coming in the way of our performance, our learning, our growth, then it makes sense to stop and not reinforce that belief by noticing more and more of the instances which prove our existing belief. It's the time to stop there, take a step back, and start taking note of all examples, all the things that exist in our environment. Have more examples rather than only those examples that we have already picked on. It requires that we have to be open to noticing those examples also where our existing belief is challenged, and that is only going to help us. So it makes sense to take note of those examples too. And when we do that, it will help us move forward with our life, with our goals, with our performance. It will help us enhance the relationship we have with the other person, even if it means reviewing and revising our belief. It makes sense to do that, isn't it? We are not our beliefs. Our belief is something that is formed through our exposure, through what is reinforced over a period of time. So, when there are real life incidents which disprove our existing belief, it makes sense to take a step back, take a global view of whatever is happening in our environment, and then make an informed opinion which will uplift us, which will take us forward. So, in the examples that I gave, see, if it is movie, it's okay. It is just a movie, it is entertainment. So it's okay. If you are happy after watching the movie, it is paisa vasool. We are happy. Let me take the example that I gave earlier. Say the person is looking for a suitable match. If we can take a step back and see whether all women in the BPO industry smoke, he will be able to find more examples of women who don't smoke, and that will help him to have a balanced perspective. And in the workspace, when the employee chooses to take a global view of how his manager is behaving towards him and other colleagues, he will find more reasons to see that the manager might have recognized his contribution. The manager might have given him rewards for his contribution, and that insight will come to him when he's taking a global view rather than being focused and magnifying those instances when the manager has ignored him. Coming to the performance, when the person looks at his performance, he might see that he's been performing very well. There have been times when he has not given his best, but there are so many times that he has given his best, and that will help him to make an informed opinion to assess his level of skills and work work his way up from there, isn't it? So when we are aware of the phenomenon of selective attention and inattentional blindness, we can work with this knowledge and enhance our life. And now that you have watched this video till the end, comment as to what instances, what beliefs in your life are you going to work on with this awareness of selective attention, and how you are going to implement these takeaways in your life. I would be glad to read your comments. If you want me to make videos on any particular topic, please share in the comments. If you want to be a part of my interactive and live sessions where I walk you through a lot of techniques, I walk you through the process, where I cover a lot of topics on emotional and psychological well being, please sign up. The link is given in the description. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos that come up. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.